Well, welcome everybody, and a lot to talk about, so let's get straight into this. And of course, the oil it's got a lot of resistance up here, but these lows still keep getting bought. So all we've done today is test the 20-day average. If we can close above this 92, or potentially even spike today, then I think we can go and see that 95. So pullbacks in the oil are still viable. And I've just taken a trade earlier today on this Dow because we are at, admittedly, it's under a lot of pressure. Shorted it into the open and then switched it as the session got underway. We got a higher close yesterday, but we've got the prospect of that coming back to the January lows, and if that doesn't get bought, if that doesn't get supported, then we are going lower. All right, and I am sorry, let me just forgotten to do something. Right, so I'm just trading these tight ranges at the moment, trying to buy extreme lows, selling into resistance, and then just seeing if that can pop up. US GDP tomorrow, so we're expecting a good number in that. That's one of the reasons why I'm buying this dip, just to see. It's already pushed up a couple hundred pips off the lows, so it was worth it on an intraday trade. I now need to see how that closes. It could be one of those events where good news is bad news, because obviously the market is very concerned about rates. So who knows, potentially the stronger the economy, the higher the frequency of the rate rises we could get this year. Rate rises are not necessarily a bad move for the markets, but certainly as they are implemented, they tend to send shivers down the spines of traders. But overall, markets, particularly this market that's coming from such a low base, yeah, I don't think higher rates are such a big issue as some people claim. I also think it's mid-term elections this year as well, so I don't think the Fed are certainly going to want to try and restrain the number of rate rises, and that could give the market a lift. Gold is still, despite some lower closes down here, gold is still very much viable. If we're going to consolidate here, then I think the consolidation is going to be over on a dip. So I wouldn't be at all surprised to see at some stage gold dip a little bit, and tomorrow could be a case in point. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see that dip into something like 1780, 1770, 1780 before that gets another potential rise into 1950, 1960. All right, so decent move and pullback into the early part of the year. We are currently winding up, but if the market gets stuck, I do think, like I said, I do think that will need a pullback before that goes. So pullbacks are definitely viable on that. Watch out for those levels. Silver is finally getting going on volume. Been talking about silver a lot of last year and certainly into this year, and we'll look at some miners in a minute. Just aside, volatility index is still raised. So all the time this volatility index stays high, we will get, surprise, surprise, increased volatility in the markets, which you all know about anyway. One thing that surprised me today is we actually gapped down after the cash close in this one. So this is on the fact we can't close above the daily 20 average is bearish. So we need to be if you're not on your toes, I'm sure you are, given the noise that's out there, then if these lower highs could force this into, you know, a greater retracement. We could at least come and find 7,200 and maybe more. So we all need to be very careful with any positions we've got on the long side if that does play out. And of course, it's just so volatile and highs are selling, that could be the case. Just switching to some stocks I've got at the moment. I'm out of BT. I'm in this QQ. So at the moment we have a trend line coming underneath it, formed from the low of the 16th of Feb. We are holding on. Volume is getting better, but it's still, I still won't be happy with this unless we start closing above 260, 270. It's got exposure to cybersecurity. It's in the defense IT cybersecurity market, so that fits my criteria very nicely, and I will sit in that one. IQE had a good run into 43. It's pulling back into this big buy bar, so as long as we don't close underneath here, and ultimately we've got to obviously close above that higher, that bar now, which is 44. If we can do that, then I think we can see 50 plus, 50, 60 plus. Obviously, jury's out given what we know about the environment that we are in at the moment. So at the moment, we've got a 1, 2, 3 wave correction following this down move here. If this pullback is to work, and we may dip a little further into that 20-day average, but then we could climb up, but close underneath here and I'll just get out. If we open and close underneath this support, then I will just protect my capital and ditch it. And what else have we got? Rolls-Royce. I've been in this for a couple of weeks, since the back end of January, and again, as with everything else, it is stuck. It's range bound. Well, I say everything else, with a lot of stocks. We're bumping into this resistance here and struggling, so that this could tip over as well. So the jury is out. As far as US concerned, I am in this visor, taking a little bit of heat on this at the moment. We've got this trend line support underneath it. So like everything else, if this breaks support, I'm out. It's a titchy position. I have traded this full size in better environments on the way up from here, sold up here, bought the pullback, and then took it off at the highs. So I'm in up here. I've got my stop just under here now, and if we do close higher, I'll add. Otherwise, I'll just ditch it and get out if that does not work. Let's look at Zoom, because I have been watching this one very closely. Right. We had a good volume day yesterday. If this breaks this low, I am in this. If this breaks this low, I'm out. I'll give it a little bit of wiggle room. I'll get a stop under about 840, but otherwise I will ditch it. It's a good stock, decent volume yesterday on a little pin bar. So the jury is out, and I will watch that very closely. Right, let's have a couple of look at some miners, and then we will move on. Pan-African, so POG, obviously with that Russian exposure, is We started leaving it alone some time ago, and that is drifting lower. Pan-African. Can't see it on my list. It is on there somewhere. So sitting up there very nicely. We talk about this often. Well, we talk about this all the while. And we're back up to resistance now. So this is a tough area, but gold is holding up, so that we need a good push to just break through that. That was the trend line down there at 16.9. We have been lower. This is the it's flipped to the 2021 range. So in theory, we should go and see 23. If we can, if we're able to break through 23, then we could go back up to 25 plus. All right, let's look at some other metals. Polymetal has pushed up and has fallen right back. So the jury's out on that one. If that can't close above that level there, that pink zone, then that one is out as well. I'm overall bearish on property. This is just falling out. It didn't even quite, it just about touched 40 and it's falling lower. Let's look at my card factory short. Stabilizing at the 50 mark. So I've just got to stop above 58 now. I shorted at 64. So I've been trading the wave pattern in this one. So I've been swing trading it rather than long-term bear investment. Sold 64, stop above there, took it off, got back in at 62, currently 51. Volumes are, it's not coming down on volume. I would ideally, for a good short, I'd want to see the sell volume increase on that, and it's not. But I'm staying put. Ultimately, I think it can come down and visit 46 and get lower. Potentially go all the way down to 30. Any stock you want me to look at? Let's look at Boo. Boo is just not doing it as well. Looked a little better yesterday. Sat right down at the lows today. So Boo is not doing it, and ASOS is online. I think if these online retailers can't do it, then there's not much chance for anybody else in this sector. That's a little better, but that's a lower close. So overall, not doing well. This TXG is a dog. Continues to close lower. So I took a position on that and then got stopped out because of this. Took a position because there's a big buy bar on the 4th, and it's not doing it. So as you can tell, I am keeping very strict reins on what I'm doing. Well, that one's holding up really well. That's Aviva. The other ones I like, well, AJ Bell. Just gotta be, yeah, it's just not doing it. Right down there, add an extension, just clinging on. So this market is not happy. Yeah, let's look at, I'll switch to US stocks now. Looking at Medtronic. I've forgotten to check. Yeah, this is pulling back. I am going to buy a position on this. I'm looking to get 102 on this because that's a handsome buy signal up there. I do like. I've traded this stock a lot in the past, and it's in the healthcare sector. Very strong brand in the healthcare sector. Very good balance sheet. So I want to buy a lower number, put the stop underneath that this week's low, and then see if that can work. So all of my trades are at pullbacks and not looking to do a whole heap else at the moment. Okay, I can see the oil is picking up again. Let's have a look at tallow. The oil is so strong. I would have thought this one could pick up. It's a good zone. So if you're interested, I would bid at 49 with a stop under 47. So a lot of these trades are coming to key levels of support. So if you are buying and risking your capital in what is obviously a very volatile market, you can get close stops. Let's look at some more shorts. Let's look at the next that has been selling since last autumn. And that is under this key support and still selling. In fact, it just tested that 69.95, 69.55 today, and it rejected it. So this looks lower. So that's why I think this sector, if you're going to short anything, this is a good sector to be in. B&M. Yeah, look, a new high closed below. This is a great short. I think you could short that at 590, stop above 612, and then look to see if this can break down. It's a new high in this little range, immediate close lower. I think this, I think retail is just very vulnerable with the squeeze on the consumer. That's underneath that structure. You've obviously got a lot of support under there, but you can get a relative, well, your stop could be as tight as 605. I think if you try and offer out at 590, get a stop above today's high, and don't risk too much capital. You don't need to risk a lot of capital. I think that should be enough wiggle room. And let's see if we can come down and go through those lows. Any questions? Right, so there's a few trade ideas there. Let's look at M&S, because M&S was holding up. Wow. I obviously haven't checked this for a long time. That's see, what we've got up here is potentially where B&M is now, because you had a new high in the range, pin bar, another engulfing bar here on the 12th, very shallow pullback on the 13th, and here we are down there. So these shows you just what you can do with these short stocks. So I think BME is a good short candidate. I think that if you missed that, I'll just quickly go through that again. But I'm just going to wind up here. Everyone else has got sound. I think it might be you, Andy. Everybody else got sound? Yeah, okay. So yeah, I'm looking to short this one, and card is working. So I am happy with that. What else am I going to look at? Let me look at let's have a look at banks. Barclays has been dipping, but that is, what's happened to my list? Right, let's punch it in again, because I thought this should be on my list. Yeah, neat move off this 185. We talked about this 185. Decent volume. It was results today, wasn't it? So I would, if you're interested in this, I would still hold out for even as low as 189, 190, if you want to get in on this, given the nature of the market we've got at the moment. But if this can hold, then I think it's got a potential for 225 plus. If you are investing it already, then just hold fire, just sit back and leave it. HSBA. Same story. The pullback so far has got bought. Right, anything you want me to look at? Do I think it's a strong bank to buy? Yeah, typically Barclays has got one of the best balance sheets in UK banks. Yes. So if we can at some stage close back above this 205, let me just check. So we broke up here in January, right? We were down there in January, yeah. So yeah, that's massive. We close above 205, and that is massive for Barclays. Right, let's look at dark, because I'm just, these guys have been on the acquisition trail. It's not a great performing stock. Volumes are not good. If you're going to buy into this one, I would be very patient. You're in the other three banks, right? You're not in Barclays. You're in the other three, but not Barclays. Okay. We'll have a look at Lloyd's in a second. I still think that can go back at least to 330, if not lower. I'm not that impressed with the volume. I think anything you're on the long side, you've just got to be very cautious with position size and stops. But given that these are in cybersecurity, I think that is worth a shot. Anything else you want me to look at? Right. THG, yeah, this is a dog at the moment. It really is a dog. I have to say that just looks lower. We're under the pound mark on volume. We're coming. This is what I want from car. We're coming down on volume. The volumes have been increasing on this. If this doesn't, well, we're already in serious. This one's already got serious issues here. It's just we've got a third wave under there. It's just making a series of. I mean, at the moment, I've still got a titchy position in this, but I've been scaling out after it broke support. I'll scale back in if it closes above 115, but it's coming down on volume. So at the moment, there's certainly no reason to buy it. There was a reason to buy it back here in 4th of Feb, but it very quickly rolled back over. So good sales and the balance sheet's good, but that doesn't seem to account for anything at the moment. Rio, okay, yeah, let's have a look at Rio again. I, of course, am out of Rio at the moment. So I got out of Rio at, I think I got out of Rio at 55. Bought it on the sort of buy signal down here in November, rode it up to 55 and got out. Obviously, it's since been up to 58. But I think Rio, obviously, we've now got a lot of resistance now. But this looks as if Rio could go all the way back to 53, 54 at the moment. All we're doing at the moment is pulling back to the 20-day average, so we could turn around sooner than that. But I think this is, I mean, that's quite a sell bar there. So it needs a further pullback. See, I'm just swing trading. I'm not investing at the moment. I'm not sitting in stuff for any major period of time. I'm just trading the swings in these stocks and then just clearing the decks. I did that with BT, and BT is holding up, but it's if this closes above 205 and runs, then I will buy a pullback if it does that. But in the meantime, I'm just backing off and hoping that it comes all the way back to 175, 177, which is a major structure in the price of this BT, and that's where I would want to get in again. All right, anything else you want to look at? Otherwise, I'm going to disappear. Right. Handsome dividend, right, okay. All right, that's on Rio, right? Oh, right, on Rio, right, okay. Another good divvy is this one. This pays a very handsome divvy, and that's pulling right back as well. Pulling back to trendline support, but it's coming down on volume. This is Persimmon. So if you're interested in divvy stocks, then not sure about dividend dates on this. Everex, that one, is that a dividend stock as well, or you just want me to look at it? I put the wrong one, haven't I? Stupid me. Right, let me punch this in properly. Is that the right one? No, it's not, is it? Right, okay, I can't find it right now, but I'll leave that. Right, I'm off. Let's have a quick look at oil in the meantime. Oil is down sold at that 680 or whatever high it was, and this one is still dithering, but all the time it holds the 50 mark, then that could go higher. Right, ticker is EVR. Okay, I'll have a last attempt to find it. Got it. Wow, just keeps going, doesn't it? Now, there's a story behind this, isn't there? It was a company split, wasn't it? Isn't all this selling mainly due to a company split? Yeah, right. So this was the 20. Right, let's go to. That's quite wow. Where's the 2021 lows? Right. That's incredibly weak. Well, got who's to say that's not going to come all the way back down to these lows then? No reason to buy it. Continues to close lower. unless we get back above 285. I wouldn't touch this unless it gets back above 285. Because at the moment that looks to me as if it's got 178 on that. All right. Well, I take it you're not in this. You're just watching it, are you, Andy? Have you got any interest in this? You're in it, right? What, on the long side? Okay. Did you buy this? There was volume and higher close yesterday, right? Okay. Well, we need to turn around pretty quick, otherwise that's lower for me. It could be this buy pattern here was short covering rather than buying. So in fact, let me completely review. Let me just mark this up differently. Hang on. Oh, come on. If I do this, it's just breaking all sorts of barriers here. It just ain't holding. Well, if I don't know what your sort of tolerance is for this, but personally, I would be on the, if I wasn't already stopped out, I'd be on the verge of ditching it. I mean, for my money, the way I look at these, any market that can't, in a big sell bar like that, the only way I'd even contemplate selling it is if it sat above the halfway mark. If it ground its way up, I mean, I think you should. Anyway, I will put that on the list and come back to that one. You bought it in 2018. Oh, right. Okay. 2018. Wow, you've been holding this through. Wow. I don't know what your criteria for an exit is, but wow. Yeah, that's the whole 43, right. Okay, so this has got so the major support is down there. So have you come out? Are you in any kind of 15% dividend? Wow, that's Persimmon's 15% as well. Are you holding stock in RASP as well then? Have you kept RASP as well? Let's look at RASP. Oh, I see, right. Well, I mean, if I'd have been in that stock, you've got a couple of sell signals up there. There's number one. That's the second sell signal. So this was already triggering short on November. Not sure what your exit strategy is, but I wouldn't hang around that personally. Well, as I said before, I'm swing trading stocks anyway. All right. Well, thanks for sharing that with us. You're looking for 7. Oh, I see. Well, you weren't. It was only 50 odd p short. Wow. Right. Thanks, guys. I will see you on Sunday.